Four Corners. Birdwatching. Margaret Carney. Why watch birds? Have you ever seen a hawk dive like a speeding arrow? Have you watched ducks marching in a line? Have you observed a pair of birds busily building a nest? If so, you know why birdwatching is so popular. Birdwatchers can learn a great deal about birds by studying them in their habitats. By looking and listening, they learn to identify birds by their appearance, behavior, and songs. Birdwatchers also help scientists by gathering and sharing their information. If would like to become a birdwatcher, this book will help you get started. Hummingbirds can fly backwards. The kookaburra often sounds like a person laughing. Some swans live to be 70 years old. Finding birds. You can find birds in all kinds of habitats, ranging from open areas to crowded cities. Birds usually live in trees, bushes, parks, wetlands, grasslands, and some deserts. You can find the birds in your area with the help of a field guide. A field guide tells you what species of birds live near you, what types of habitats they live in, and what time of year the birds will be in your area. Eurasian jay feeding in the woods, Scotland. Pigeons in a city, Croatia. Geese in a pond, Canada. Rosella in grassland, Australia. Materials. A field guide, a notebook, a pencil, or a pen. 1. Borrow a field guide from a library or a friend, or buy one at a bookshop. Some field guides cover only one region, so make sure your field guide includes your area. 2. Look for the range maps in your field guide. In some guides, they are all located in one section. In other guides, there is a range map next to each bird. 3. Choose a bird that lives in your state, territory, or island and find the range map for that bird. If your location is shaded, the bird may live in or around your area. Turn the page to continue this activity. Migration. Some birds migrate from place to place. Others live in the same area all year. If a bird migrates, the range map may be shaded with 2 colors or patterns. Use the map key to find out what time of year each color or pattern represents. Map key. Summer months, all year round. This range map shows where the osprey lives in North America. Osprey. Osprey nesting. 4. Make a list of other birds that you would like to find that are in your area during this time of year. 5. Add the habitats of these birds, such as trees, shrubs, paddocks, ponds, and wetlands, to your list. 6. Choose 1 or 2 habitats near your home where you can look for these birds. 7. Review the pictures of the birds that live in your area. This will help you identify the birds when you look for them. Black-crowned night heron. Tips for finding birds. Always move slowly and quietly so that you do not scare the birds. Listen carefully for sounds such as bird songs or calls that could lead you to birds. Birds that are feeding may tap on trees, rustle leaves, or splash in water. Try pishing to call birds to you. Push air through your teeth while opening and closing your lips. This makes a loud, whispering sound that attracts some birds. Great spotted woodpecker. Using binoculars. One of the most important tools for birdwatchers is a pair of binoculars. Binoculars magnify distant objects by making them look closer and larger. They will allow you to view birds' natural behavior at a distance, without disturbing them. Before you go birdwatching, it is important to become comfortable using your binoculars. Materials. Binoculars, instruction booklet for binoculars. 1. Choose a pair of binoculars and read the instruction booklet, if you have one. It will explain the important features. 2. Find an object to look at that is about 10 meters away. 3. Sit or stand in a comfortable, steady position and hold the binoculars up to your eyes. Binoculars. Eyepiece. Main focus control. Lens. There are different types of binoculars. Many birdwatchers use binoculars with a main focus control in the center. Before adjustment. After adjustment. 4. Adjust the main focus control until the image is clear. If the image remains blurry, you may need to adjust a control on one of the eyepieces, usually the one on the right. 5. Practice steps 2 to 4 several times, using different objects. When you are comfortable using your binoculars, you are ready to find birds. Eurasian goldfinch. Getting ready. Before you go outside to look for birds, be prepared. Make sure that you wear the right kind of clothes and take all of the necessary supplies. Always tell an adult where you are going. If your birdwatching is going to take you out of your local area, ask an adult to go with you. Materials. Clothes and shoes for outdoors, a field guide, binoculars, a notebook, colored pencils. 1. Wear clothes that are brown, green, or gray. Brightly colored clothes may scare birds. Avoid wearing clothes that make a noise as you move. Birds are socially shy and are easily frightened away by unusual sounds. 2. Choose shoes that are comfortable and suitable for the places you will be walking. You may need walking boots or waterproof shoes. Long pants for walking through tall grass. 3. Take a hat with a brim to keep the sun out of your eyes so that you can see the birds clearly. 4. Wear sunscreen and take insect repellent with you, particularly if you are birdwatching in the warmer months. 5. Take a notebook and some colored pencils so you can keep a bird journal. The next activity will show you how. 6. Make sure you have your field guide and your binoculars with you. 7. Pack a bottle of water and a snack. If you plan to spend the day walking, take a packed lunch. Now you are ready to go birdwatching. Watching birds. When you go birdwatching, you should take a bird journal. A bird journal is a notebook in which you write about the birds that you see. This will help you to remember them and to understand their habits better. Materials. A notebook. Colored pencils or pens. Saturday, 10th August 1:30 p.m. It was a sunny day today and I went to look for birds in my grandma's garden. I put some food on the bird table and then I waited for some birds to come down. I saw a small bird. It had brown and spotted feathers and a pointed beak. Wing. Eye. Belly. Leg. Tail. Foot. 1. Write down the date, time, and location where you first see each bird. Also, make a note about what the weather is like. 2. Use your binoculars to study the bird close up. Remember to use the controls to help you focus on the bird. 3. Write about what you see. Describe the bird's appearance, such as its size, color, beak shape, wings, or kind of feet. If you do not recognize the bird, compare it with a bird that you know. For example, is it larger than a goldfinch? Is its beak hooked like a parrot's or pointed like a sparrow's? 4. Make a sketch of the bird. Draw any special field markings or colors and feather patterns that you see on the bird. Turn the page to continue this activity. Pigeons in flight. 5. Write down how the bird moves. When it flies, does it glide or flap its wings? Does it travel in a flock, with a partner, or alone? Does it walk, hop, or climb? 6. Describe any other activities or behaviors that you observe. For example, is the bird eating seeds or insects? Is it preening its feathers? 7. Listen for any songs or calls made by the bird. Each species has its own. For example, are the bird's calls raspy, or clear and whistling? Describe these sounds in your journal. 8. Use your journal and a field guide to identify the species of each bird that you see. The next activity will show you how. Azure kingfisher feeding. Macaws preening. White-crowned sparrow singing. Identifying birds. Once you have finished writing information in your journal, it is time to identify the bird that you saw. You may want to follow these steps while you are still out in the field. You may also compare your bird journal notes to the field guide when you return home. Parts of a bird. Tail. Rump. Back. Wing. Crown. Beak or bill. Chin. Eye. Throat. Breast. Side. Leg. Belly. Foot. Eurasian robin. Materials. A field guide, your bird journal. 1. Find the picture in the field guide that looks most like the bird that you saw. 2. Compare the picture and the bird's description to your journal notes and what you remember about the bird. If you are unsure of what part of a bird the guide is referring to, check the labels on the bird diagram on page 16 or near the front of your field guide. Turn the page to continue this activity. I saw 4 small birds in the park today. They all looked the same. They had brown and gray feathers and some had white stripes on their wings. They all had short, sharp beaks. Common sparrow. Bird beaks. You can identify birds by the shape of their beaks. The beak's shape can tell you what type of food the bird eats and how it finds its food. Here are some examples. A short, pointed beak helps the silver-eared Messia crack open small seeds. A sharp, hooked beak helps the golden eagle tear meat. A long, thin beak helps the gray-breasted spider hunter snatch spiders from their webs. A wide, flat beak helps the white duck strain small animals, plants, and seeds from water. 3. Check the range map to see if that bird ever appears in your area. If it does not, you are probably looking at a bird that is similar to the one in your field guide, but is actually a different bird. 4. Check in the field guide for the time of year or the season when the bird is found in your area. Does the bird live in your area all the time or only during one season? See if this information matches when you saw the bird. 5. Write the name of the bird in your journal. Soon you will know birds common to your local area. It does not matter if you cannot identify every bird. Even experts can become confused. Trying to identify birds is just part of the fun of birdwatching. Unidentified birds. If you are not sure about the identity of your bird, check your notes carefully. Could the bird be a juvenile? Juveniles, or young birds, have different plumage than adult birds. Some birds' plumage changes in winter. Remember that in some bird species, the males and females look different. Male greenfinch. Female greenfinch. Juvenile greenfinch. Making a bird feeder. Bring the birds to you by making this bird feeder. If you hang the bird feeder near a window, you can study birds close up without scaring them. Ask an adult to help you. Materials. A pencil, a 2-liter cardboard milk or juice carton, strong scissors, a large nail, sunflower seeds, string or wire, 60 to 90 centimeters long. 1. Mark a square on one side of the carton, about 5 centimeters from the base of the carton. Next, cut along only 2 sides of the square. 2. Cut across the center of the square to make 2 flaps. Fold one flap up and fold the other one down. 3. Repeat the first 2 steps on the opposite side of the carton. 4. Reach inside the carton and carefully push holes into the base with the nail. The holes will allow rainwater to drain out. 5. Make a large hole in the top of the carton. Then thread the string or a wire through the hole. 6. Put sunflower seeds in the feeder. 7. Tie the feeder to a tree or porch rafter. Watch who comes to eat. It might take a while for the birds to find the feeder, so be patient. Remember to clean out the feeder and replace the seeds every few weeks. Feeding birds. Be careful about what foods you put in your bird feeder. Salty foods are harmful to birds and should never be left for them. Sunflower seeds, millet, and thistle seeds are good. Many birds also like to eat suet, a hard animal fat. Sunflower seeds. Suet cone. Joining a bird count. If you practice, you will soon become an expert birdwatcher. Most birdwatchers come to greatly appreciate birds and help ornithologists who study bird populations. Several organizations hold yearly bird counts. These events involve thousands of people across the country. They work in groups to count the total number of birds they see in a specific area on a single day. The counts are combined and fed into computers. Scientists can then tell which bird populations grow or decline from year to year. If you would like to join a bird count, write to the address or visit the website on this page for more information. Magpie. Bird count contact information. Garden Bird Survey. Bird Observers Club of Australia. 183 to 185, Springvale Road. Nunawaiting, Victoria 3131. www.birdobservers.org.au. Glossary. Binoculars. A tool that magnifies objects at a distance. Calls. Sounds that a bird makes to communicate with other birds. Field guide. A reference book that helps readers identify things found in nature. Field markings. The color, marks, or feather patterns on a bird that distinguish it from other birds. Flock. A group of birds that lives, eats, and travels together. Habitats. Places where plants and animals naturally live. Magnify. To make something look larger and closer. Migrate. To move from one place to live in another. Ornithologists. Scientists who study birds and their behavior. Pishing. Pushing air through the teeth to make a loud, whispering sound that attracts birds. Plumage. The feathers on a bird. Preening. Smoothing and arranging of feathers by a bird. Range maps. Maps that show the area where an animal can be found at different times of the year. Species. One specific kind of plant or animal.